Another Startup Stack interview here tonight. I'm with Nicholas Hastings of Square Root Academy.
Yes,
Nick,
sir.
why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about yourself and Square Root Academy?
Okay. A little about me. Nicholas Hastings, Sac State graduate and Sacramento native. Also executive director and founder of Square Root Academy. And what Square Root Academy is a nonprofit dedicated to exposing the youth to the fundamentals of STEM while emphasizing innovation, collaborative learning, and academic excellence.
So what's the background of Square Root Academy? How long has it been operating, and what was the genesis of the idea to start that?
Absolutely. Well, we've been working on Square Root Academy for some time, and we've been working in STEM education for even longer. It was me and a collection of friends, other engineers, we came together and we had this idea just to bring STEM education and quality education to areas that don't necessarily have programs like that in their neighborhoods or local schools. So the idea kind of just came about through like our own personal experience and journeys into college and our own personal, journey into becoming engineers. We noticed that once we entered university, we weren't fully prepared. We hadn't seen a lot of the things and materials that our peers had. So we were fairly new. We were entering this blind. Because of that, we struggled. It was a little bit harder for us. So we want to make sure that our students don't have to go through that struggle alone, or just have some sort of experience prior to entering university and higher education.
So what grade level or what age do you focus on?
As of right now, we do 4th through 8th grade.
4th through 8th
That seems
grade.
to be our sweet spot. It's old enough to get the exposure, and then also to like retain them once they get to try to retain them once we get to high school.
Cool. Awesome stuff. So you were a recent recipient of a Rails grant from the city of Sacramento.
Which I'm grateful for.
So let's talk a little bit about that and how that, winning that grant, how is that helping you advance Square Root Academy?
Absolutely. Well, what the grant is allowing us to do is it's allowing us to serve a larger demographic, because now we have the funds and resources to do so. That's pretty much what it is. It's allowing us to spread our mission even further. It's
scaling up, basically.
Scaling up to educate more students, maintain community involvement, just every aspect of the program, we can just multiply that.
So what's some examples of what you're going to be doing over the next year or so that the grant duration is?
Absolutely. Well, it's helping us out with a number of events. So what we have planned for the future is, as of right now, we have one site. We're in talks of we're negotiating adding one more for the spring 17 semester, and then also ultimately having 3 for the fall 17 semester. In addition to that, we just finished up our hackathon. We have plans to do a much larger hackathon in May, partnering with other Rails recipients. Fingers crossed everything goes well. On top of that, we have our Square Root Academy STEM Summit, which will be happening, I believe, in March or February. So the Rails grant is helping to fund all of that. It's helping us make sure that we can accommodate all of our students, the community leaders, and people that are going to be coming out. So it's just allowing us to just execute our mission even better.
How many kids do you think you're going to be able to reach over this course? I mean, is it dozens or hundreds?
Oh yeah, more than that.
Awesome.
Well, as of right now, we served about 20 or so students, plus or minus maybe 3 or 5, depending. And that was at one site. And even at that one site, that was our first year, so we expect, and we've gotten a lot more interest, so about 30 students per site. That's almost 100 students at 3 sites. Plus the hackathons, that's going to bring in another batch of students that we're going to be able to educate and teach them. The STEM Summit, I'm hoping for at least 100 students, along with industry professionals, leaders, and yeah, we've got some big things in the works, and we hope to serve a larger demographic.
Awesome.
And hopefully we have a lingering effect on these students that last for generations.
That's what I was just going to ask next, is after they graduate from your program, how they continue, and also what kind of an impact did they have on their friends who might not be in the program? Yeah.
So they've been having a lot of impact. Like they've been saying, oh, can my friend come out? Can I bring him to this, that, or the third? But unfortunately registration was closed. But we reopened the registration December 19th for our spring 17 semester. So we're looking forward to having a lot more students out.
Awesome. And where are some of the locations where this is going to take place?
As of right now, John Still Middle School, and I want to wait for the ink to dry before I.
Where's what middle school?
South Sacramento. Okay. John Still Middle School is in South Sacramento. Okay. It's an area that desperately needs a program like this because nothing like this exists for those students living in those conditions. Cool,
very cool. And so, do you find that the students, what's the impact on their lives after they get through the program? I mean, are they excited to get into STEM or engineering and progress? Does it turn their life around? What's the impact? I mean, absolutely. Those of us who don't see it, what's happening with them?
Well, it has a large impact. We have kids saying that they want to be engineers. Students now, they want to be scholars. We had a field trip, I want to say about 4 weeks ago. Many of our students never seen a college campus. Their parents never seen a college campus. Then I have students asking, "Hey, Mr. Nick, are you going to come to my college graduation when I graduate?"
Oh, cool.
So that's the effect that we have. We get them thinking about their future in academics, their future in industry, and then in doing that, it changes the trajectory of their life path, but also of their kids and their kids' kids for generations to come.
How does it impact their family? How does it impact their siblings and their parents? Have you noticed any impact there?
Yeah, yes and no. So we notice that the parents are very involved, but that we call on a regular basis. Square Root Academy, we make sure that we maintain relationships with the parents and guardians of the students that we're serving. At our hackathon, it was a packed house full of parents, so excited to see what their kids are building, creating, to watch them present. So there's definitely an impact there. I don't know how it was in comparison prior to Square Root Academy with the relationships of parents and what their students do in academia. But I know that the community is very engaged, and when we invite them in, they're here for their students, which is that's the plan.
Awesome. So you mentioned the hackathon. What went down at the hackathon?
Oh, goodness. All right, so what went down at the hackathon is our students, they created their very own products from start to finish. A lot of them somehow ended up being very environmentally driven. Don't know how that happened, but I'm happy about it.
So what was the idea? Were there certain ground rules, or was it just develop any product you're interested in?
Anything they wanted to build. We like to give our students complete free range. That's why one of our taglines is it's engineering creativity, one student at a time. Because it's the creativity that's really going to get them to innovation, to get them building new things, exciting new ideas. So we say, okay, what do you want to make? All right, you need this, this, and this. Here are the tools, you go make it. So over the semester, we teach them how to code, we teach them how to assemble circuits, 3D modeling, the basics of engineering and the engineering process and things like that. And we finish off the semester with our hackathon.
So it's like a capstone event?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
So what are some examples of what some of the kids built?
Well, some of the things that they built, one group, they built a portable solar charger for phones and for laptops.
Oh, cool.
Another group, they created a boat coded using Arduino hardware, software, with an ultrasonic sensor to sense any garbage that was the problem that they wanted to solve was pollution in the ocean. So using this ultrasonic sensor, it would pick up any objects that were floating on the ocean surface, go to that, and then push it into this garbage island. They called it the boat dozer. So that's one of our things that we created.
So how they've made this thing over the course of a weekend, right?
Yes.
So what's next? They got this great idea. I mean, I'm from Startup Sac, and I'm all about innovation and startups and entrepreneurship. Are they pursuing that passion, the idea that they came up with?
A couple of the students, they were asking us, can we keep their projects intact so they could build more? But we're going to let them go ahead and start over. What we wanted them to really get out of it is, for one, exercise that creativity and that freedom to build whatever they want.
More about the process.
It was the process, but not only that, we want them to get comfortable with, okay, this didn't work. All right, what are we going to do next? What's next? Let's refine. Let's
get used to failure, because
get used to failure, because in engineering and in the sciences, it happens a lot.
And in startups too, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a fact of life, yeah. Awesome. So you said, I think another hackathon is planned for 2017?
Yes.
When's that?
Yes. It's going to be in May. Okay. We're still ironing out all of the details. We're working on a few partnerships. A lot of people there are already on board, so we're just pulling it all together.
Is that going to be open to the public?
Yes, it will.
Awesome.
It
Awesome.
will be.
Well, definitely, spread the word, and we'll try to help you spread the word about that and get people out to see it.
We'd appreciate it.
So, innovation has been a core theme of Mayor Johnson's. In essence, you're helping kids to nurture the next generation of Sacramento innovators. How can the community help foster and leverage that to work and leverage the work that you've done to make it to have an even bigger impact? In other words, what can we do to help you guys have an even bigger impact?
Sacramento, the city.
Well, I'm thinking mostly of the startup community.
Oh, the startup community.
The startup community here is pretty strong. It's growing. The city's involved in that now with the Rails grants.
Very much so.
So whether it be the city, whether it be the people in the startup community, what can we do to help promote in what you're doing and leverage what you're doing to have an even bigger impact?
Yeah. Well, I think what we can do is kind of like community and innovation is just work together. Because the best innovation comes from a diverse set of ideas, and you have all these organizations that are doing so many different great things. So just being there for each other, whether it's like, okay, I have this skill set, you need this, it's like recording or graphic artists or someone that's really good at this particular type of coding. Just if we all partner together and utilize our skill sets, we can make Sacramento a great tech innovation ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that all the Rails grants winner. There's a diverse set of skills involved, and if we can get together and there's got to be a lot of synergy involved.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys, like, the first one comes to mind is Rocket Department.
They're
you
great.
probably know them,
they're
right?
Great, yeah.
Working with them or some of the co-working spaces like Hacker Lab, you mentioned. So a lot of potential there. Yeah. So what as a community are we doing well to promote that diverse set of ideas and diversity, and what do we need to work on to improve that?
Well, I think honestly, Sacramento, the path that we're taking, it's a slow start, but we're on the right path. You have spaces like Outlet Co-working, Hacker Lab,
which we're at now, Outlet Co-working. So shout out to them.
You had to. Urban Hive and the IO Labs coming. It's creating these hubs, these kind of these hubs for innovation and for creativity, and these startups to flourish and actually thrive. So Sacramento is doing its part in supporting those movements and those endeavors. In addition to that, there's like lots of startups, meetups. You got your Civic Hack, your Code for America, all the classes at Hacker Lab.
Do you ever talk to your kids about getting them out to some of the meetups? Like there's JavaScript meetups, and there's other coding meetups, there's Maker meetups.
Yeah.
Getting them involved in some of those things?
We want to in the future, but as of right now, that's not something that we're doing right at this moment. But we would love to get them more exposure. So even if any startups want to come and talk to our students or want to allow our students to tour, feel free to contact
Do you have a regular meeting time at the school, or is it kind of random, or how is it set up?
It's every Saturday. From 9 to 1 p.m. But with the 10th being our last class until January 28th.
But you've got pretty much a standard curriculum every class, or
Absolutely.
Is there time open where we could have some startups or founders maybe go in and see what they can do to help?
I'd be very much open to that.
Awesome. Well, we'll spread the word for sure.
Sounds good to me. I like the sounds of that.
So any other ideas on how the Sacramento startup community can engage and interact with your program and the kids besides, maybe going out and meeting with them? Any like special programs that some of the startups or some of the like IO Labs, for instance, could incorporate to kind of be the next step for the kids once they're done with your program? I don't know, just kind of brainstorming here.
Yeah. We haven't fully established the pipeline for our students once they're
I guess that's it. What's the pipeline? What's the pipeline to get them from where did they end up after your program to college?
Yeah, we haven't fully established that. There's a couple other high school mentoring programs that we're working with that are really great, doing some great work in the community, that we're hoping to continue that relationship and partner with. So it's the high school that we really need to target, because for the college, we pretty much have good working relationships with them, whether it's Society of Women Engineers, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, National Society of Black Engineers. We have ties and relationships with all of those organizations in college. So we just need to make sure that we maintain the relationship with our students throughout high school until they get to college, so they know that they have that support once they get to college.
And some of the high schools have programs, and some don't. Is it? Or?
Some do and some don't. So we make it a point to work with demographics that don't always have the best educational system in their neighborhoods. So a lot of the high schools that they're going to be going to don't have STEM programs like that. So that's something that we're going to have to make sure that we hammer into them prior to them getting to high school, and also maintain communication while they are in their high school career.
Awesome. Well, I think I speak for everybody in the community in thanking you for taking this on. I mean, it's obviously great work, and we look forward to seeing the results. Do you have anything else you'd like to share or add or ask of the community?
No, just keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for coming out. We appreciate your support and you highlighting what Square Root Academy is doing.
Sure, and keep in touch and let us know anything we can do to help, and we'll spread the word throughout the community.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.